Hi, I'm Ben with Shit Goose.
I'm Zach with Kingfield Endurance.
Today we're going to discuss pre-ride inspection. Inspection you should take on your bike every time you go out and ride. We're going to start with tire pressure.
First thing you're going to want to do is check your tire pressure.
Seriously?
Nerd.
Hi, I'm Ben with Shit Goose, and today we're going to discuss changing a tire. So, say you're out riding your bike with your friends, and all of a sudden, your valve stem mysteriously rips in half. How do you go about changing your tire? First, you're going to have to remove the tire wheel from the bike. To do that, on most bikes, you're going to need to undo some sort of brake system. This is a cyclocross bike, so we have some big cantilever or V-brakes on it. A lot of road bikes will have a little tiny lever on the side here that you can lift up to separate the pads from the rim. That's going to make it a lot easier to get the wheel off of the bike. Once you've opened your brakes up, you're going to grab the QR skewer here, quick release skewer, and pry it open. That's going to make it kind of loose. You're going to loosen it a bit more by holding the opposite end, unscrewing it with your hand. Now the wheel should be free to remove from the bicycle. So, the first step is to find your valve stem, or at least where your valve stem used to be. Starting at the valve stem, you're going to go to the opposite side, and you'll start to remove the tire from there. So, beginning at a spoke, as far to the opposite of the valve stem as you can, you're going to lift the tube up, or the tire up a little tiny bit, and hook it on to one of your spokes. It should just kind of stay there. Now going down just a couple of spokes, you're going to pop it up a little bit further. You should be able to just grab and start rotating the tire around. This will slide the tire off of the rim. This will just kind of fall off wherever. And you can pull your tube right out. If you're putting a tire on for the first time, or you've completely removed the tire, it's usually good form to find the logo on the tire and match that up with the hole that your valve stem goes through. That makes it really, really easy to spot where your valve stem is going to be. Once you've got your valve stem back through, you're going to go around the tire, or around the rim, and push the tube into the tire. Like so. So, now that you've got the tube fed back into the tire, beginning this time with the valve stem, you're going to kind of push the valve stem back up inside of the tire a little bit to give you some leeway to start pinching the tire back onto the rim. You want to be really careful as you're going around that you don't get your tube pinched in between the tire and the rim. So if you see it starting to do that, you want to just lift it up and gently kind of push it back up on the inside like that. When you've kind of reached the end and there's only a little bit left, some people can do this with their hands. It's a lot easier to do it with one tire lever. You want to slide this up in here, the curved end like that. It's going to go push the tube up inside, hook on to the rim, and then just gently pop the tire the rest of the way on. Once we have the tire seated back onto the rim, we're going to put a little bit of air in just to make sure that the tube kind of goes into the tire and isn't pinched anywhere between the tire and the rim, and we'll pump it up the rest of the way. It helps out a lot when you're trying to get the pump back on for the first time. Put a little pressure on the back side of the valve stem. Get that on there real good and put a little pressure in it, not a lot, maybe 20 psi. Now we've got that 20 psi in, we can kind of go around the tire, feel it, make sure everything seems like it's seated in there well. and we can pump it up the rest of the way. And that is how you change a tire. Perfect. Now we roll credits.